Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new horror comedy movie called Send Help that has been released in theaters, and it's starring Rachel McAdams as Laura Little and Dylan O'Brien as Bradley Preston. And so right off the bat, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was very intrigued. And it's like I kind of knew where this would kind of be going, but as I continued to watch this movie, I was very surprised by some of the twists that were revealed or that were done throughout the movie. So pretty much this movie is centered on a very ill-treated employee of this company. She works in the area of strategy and planning at this company, where she's very underappreciated, but she is also very awkward and doesn't seem to take social cues all of that well. And so a lot of her co-workers kind of don't necessarily, I wouldn't say necessarily like her, but they're very weirded out by her and don't really involve her in anything. Yeah, she's just super awkward. And for that reason, though she is to be considered to be the next vice president by the original owner of this company or organization, the president or the person who owns it passes away and leaves it to his son, who passes her up as vice president in order to put his friend in the position as vice president. And so she goes and she talks to him about it. She gets bold enough to talk to him about it, and he pretty much tells her that, hey, yeah, like you're not very socially aware or socially inept enough for this position. And so he's very much a jerk. Like, this guy, who is played by Dylan O'Brien, he is like an extreme jerk, like to the point where it's like, it's not even just a little bit, it's so much that you just like, oh my God, I cannot stand him. But to the actor's credit, he plays that role extremely well. And we also know that, Linda is single. She lives at home with a bird. And this guy, he's got a fiance, and yeah. And so pretty much, he decides that, okay, fine, you're bold enough to stand up to me. And so he decides to take her on this business trip along with his buddy that he, promoted to vice president and some other people. And on their way on this business trip, they're kind of making fun of her because she's really into Survivor, and she has auditioned for Survivor, and they're making fun of her audition tape that they somehow found online. And in the midst of this, the plane crashes. It's terrible, and her jerk boss, Bradley, are now the only survivors, and they have to survive on this island. And obviously we know that she is going to be great at survival because and it's shown even before that, she has all these books on survival and everything, and so we know she's going to be great at survival. He's injured, she's kind of taking care of him, and like he does this jerk thing that's shown in the trailer. Like, she's like, oh, like, I'm your boss, I'm still your boss, and she's like, we're not at work anymore. And so that, it kind of shows you like, okay, that this is going to go south really quickly for him, and go south it does. But yeah, like, there are just so many like twists. There's like things that happened that it's like at one point you think like, oh my gosh, like, is something changing now? And then it's like, wait, like, there's this twist that happens that you don't necessarily see it coming from Bradley, from Dylan O'Brien's character. And it's like, wow, you really think that one thing was happening, but in reality it wasn't. It's kind of like the whole time you kind of know, okay, like, we know this lady is kind of gonna go off of the deep end. Like, we know she's kind of has psychopathic tendencies and stuff like that. But like, from him, it's like, you kind of feel like, oh, maybe he's going to become more human. But throughout the movie, you kind of feel like, well, is he, or was he just pretending this whole time? You don't really actually know. But yeah, like I feel like there was so much done in this movie that just really kept me on my toes. Like even like from the beginning, like it's like, yeah, even though we know that what's gonna like come from this because we've seen the trailers, or even if you haven't, you kind of know maybe by reading this how this is gonna go. But I loved how they introduced these characters. I feel like Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien did such a wonderful job at playing these characters. Like I was just so intrigued the entire time. They also do these scenes that are just really, it's just so well done in like making you like kind of grimace a little bit. It just keeps your eyes glued to the screen the entire time. I do think maybe it was a little bit generic in what was happening, like as I keep saying, in the sense that you could kind of see where it's going, but at the same time you couldn't, because there were these twists and also like these funny moments. It's like one of those things where sure, it's not, I guess you shouldn't see it as funny because it's like horror, but then it's like it's just funny because it's so ridiculous that it's even happening. I will say that two things that I was disappointed with a little bit. One, I feel like the ending, I just wanted a little bit more. I feel like I wasn't necessarily satisfied too much with the ending. And then also, I feel like there's some points of contention where I'm like, well, that kind of didn't really make any sense. Like there's this little, I guess, fight scene that they have towards the end of the movie where it's like, how did you explain all of this away kind of thing? It's like, yeah, this person is not here, but like they'll be here eventually. How do you explain that away? And there's a little bit of other little things that I feel like maybe should have been like, okay, how are we explaining that away? But anywho, I really enjoyed this movie. It gave me a lot. I wasn't expecting too much from it, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. And so I'm giving this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I don't want to say too much about it because I really do feel like if you go and see this movie, you are going to enjoy it. So I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, that is my simple review of Send Help, starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. And if you have seen this movie, what did you think about it? And will you go and see this movie? Comment down below. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel to get more content like this, and like this video because it really helps me out. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.